Hello everyone, welcome to our cross-cultural cooking show. Let's travel around the world and check out these traditional dishes from these countries.
Now we'll be taking you to Italy and we'll be cooking tiramisu, which is a coffee flavor based dessert. For the ingredients, you will need 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, an 8-ounce container of mascarpone cheese, room temperature, a 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1.5 cups of cold espresso, 3 tablespoons of coffee-flavored liquor. The options could vary from Kahlua or Da Vinci brands. 1 package of Lady Fingers. Seviorati brand can be found in the cookie aisle at your local grocery store, or you can just find them online. And cocoa powder for dusting the top. How to prepare: you add the whipping cream to a mixing bowl and beat on medium speed with electric mixers, or use a standard mixer. Slowly add sugar and vanilla and continue to beat until stiff peaks. Add mascarpone cheese and mix just until combined and set that aside. Add coffee and liquor to a shallow bowl. Dip the lady fingers in coffee. Don't soak them, just quickly dip them so they don't get all soggy, and lay them in a single layer on the bottom of an 8x8 or a similar size pan. Smooth half of the mascarpone mixture over the top. Add another layer of dipped lady fingers. Smooth the remaining mascarpone cream over the top. Finally, you want to dust the cocoa powder generously over the top, and then refrigerate for at least 3 to 4 hours or overnight before serving.
We're going to take you to Japan and we're going to be cooking unagi, which is the traditional word for freshwater eel, and is one of the main ingredients in the Japanese cooking.
To cook this dish, you need the following ingredients: 2 fillets of unagi, which is just 2 fillets of eel, Japanese sansho pepper, which is for the flavoring of course, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of mirin, 2.5 tablespoons of sugar, and 1.5 tablespoons of sake. Of course, there is a gluten-free option down at the bottom for those with gluten sensitivities. As you can see here, we have a list of steps on how to prepare unagi, starting with the sauce. Combine mirin and the sake in a small saucepan and bring it to a boil. Then add in your sugar, and when it's completely dissolved, you then add the soy sauce and bring that to a boil. Reduce the heat and let it simmer until the sauce thickens. And while you're waiting for the sauce to cool, you can start cooking your rice using whatever method that you prefer. Then you preheat your grill to high, line a baking sheet with aluminum foil, and lay the fillets on top. Brush with the vegetable oil. Then you're able to place them on the grill for about 5 to 7 minutes or until nicely browned. Take the fillets out of the oven and carefully brush with unagi sauce, leaving a little sauce for later. Then, finally, to serve your dish, add a serving of cooked rice to an empty bowl. Brush the top of the rice with the remaining sauce and lay the unagi fillets on top. Once all these steps have been completed, your dish should look a little something like this. Don't worry if it doesn't look as photogenic as this one, but hopefully you do enjoy this awesome Japanese dish.
Now we're going to take you to Zanzibar and we'll be cooking mandazi. Mandazi is a soft triangular shaped donut that is famous in East Africa and it's usually served with a cup of tea.
Now the ingredients we're going to need to prepare for the mandazis are 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of instant yeast, 8 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of cardamom, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 egg, and 1 cup of milk. So now let's start preparing our mandazis. First step is to mix all our dry ingredients together, but we also need to activate the yeast. You will need a little bit of sugar, warm water, and yeast. Mix it all together and let it sit for 10 minutes. Second step is, in a bowl, add the egg and milk and butter all together. Step number 3, add the buttermilk mixture to the dry ingredients and mix it all together. Knead the dough until you get a smooth, non-sticky dough. Cover the batter with a cloth and let it rise for about 1 hour. Step number 4, knead the dough one more time for about 10 minutes and then cut it into 4 pieces. Next, roll each and cut into 4 triangular shapes. Step number 5, you can now fry the mandazis on medium heat and keep flipping till both sides are browned up. Finally, now your mandazis are ready to be served with a light sprinkle of powdered sugar.
Now we're going to take you to Argentina and we will be cooking alfajores, which are a very sweet snack with the most popular filling being dulce de leche.
For this recipe, we will use a combination of flour and cornstarch. Using cornstarch is the key to make these melt-in-your-mouth cookies. The results are amazing. You will also need baking powder, baking soda, kosher salt, white sugar, 1 stick of unsalted butter, 2 large egg yolks, vanilla extract, lemon zest from 2 lemons, 1 cup of coconut flakes, and 1 can of dulce de leche. To prepare this recipe, in a large bowl, sift together flour, cornstarch, baking powder, baking soda, and the kosher salt, then set it aside. Then, in a bowl with an electric mixer, beat the sugar and the butter until it's light and fluffy. Then add the egg yolks and combine. Then add your vanilla extract, water, and lemon zest, and then add the flour mixture and mix on low speed until the dough comes together. Once your dough is ready, wrap the dough in a plastic and chill until firm for at least 2 hours. Then you will heat your oven to 350 degrees and line baking sheets with parchment paper. Then you will remove dough from the plastic and place on a lightly floured surface and use a floured rolling pin to roll out the dough to about a 1/4 inch thickness. Then cut your dough with a cookie cutter. Once you've done that, you can place the cookies on a prepared sheet pans and then bake until they are golden. Once they're done baking, you can take them out to cool completely before removing them from the baking sheet. Once your cookies are cool, spread 1 tablespoon of dulce de leche onto the back of the half of cookies, then place the second cookie on top and gently press to create a sandwich. Then you will roll the sides in coconut and generously dust them with powdered sugar before serving.
Next, we're going to Australia and we'll be cooking lamingtons, which is a sponge cake covered in chocolate sauce.
In order to cook lamingtons, you will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of butter, 1/3 of a cup of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 eggs, and 1/2 cup of milk. Now that is just for the cake part of the lamington. Now we move into the icing, which requires 4 cups of confectioner's sugar sifted, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1/2 cup of warm milk, and 1 pound of unsweetened dried coconut. Here we see the list of steps it takes to prepare lamingtons. First, you preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Sift together the flour, baking powder, and salt, and once you are done with that, you set it aside. Beat 1/2 cup of butter and 1/3 of a cup of sugar with an electric mixer in a large bowl until it's light and fluffy. Add the room temperature eggs in one at a time and beat in the vanilla with the last egg. Pour the batter into a prepared pan. Bake in the preheated oven until a toothpick inserted into the cake comes out clean. 30 to 40 minutes is usually how long it takes. Let it stand for about 5 minutes, then turn out onto a wire rack and cool completely. To make the icing, in a large bowl, combine the confectioner's sugar and cocoa. Add the melted butter and warm milk and mix well until you create a fluid but not too runny icing. Cut the cake into 24 squares after you let sit for a little while. Pour the shredded coconut into a shallow bowl, dip each square into the icing, coating all sides. Then roll it in the coconut. Then place onto a rack to dry, and then you can enjoy your lamingtons. Once you have completed all of those steps, you should have a fully prepared lamington in front of you. It should look a little something like this picture, but don't worry if it's not exact. I know that you will fully enjoy this native Australian dish.
Now we're going to take you to Oman and we'll be cooking haris. Haris is usually served in special occasions and it's served with a special sauce.
The ingredients we're gonna need to prepare for the haris is half kilogram of boneless chicken, half kilogram of wheat and barley soaked overnight, 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, 2 tablespoons of green chili paste, half tablespoon crushed cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon of chaat masala, 2 tablespoon lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of ghee, brown fried onions to taste, and 1 tablespoon coriander leaves. And now let's start making our haris. Step number 1, take the soaked barley and wheat and boil it in a pan with double water quantity. It will take about 1 hour to completely cook. Step number 2, churn the boiled wheat and barley mixture using a blender and turn until it turns into a thick paste mixture. You can add water if you like, but the thickness of it is preferred. Step number 3, add ginger garlic paste, salt, crushed cumin, fennel seed mixture in another pan. Shred the chicken and keep it aside. Step number 4, add the shredded chicken and the wheat barley mixture along with the chicken stock. Mix it well and let it cook for another 15 minutes. To add a bit of Asian taste to the haris, you can add chaat masala and lemon juice to it. Step number 5, keep mixing the haris till you get that desired texture. Finally, it is optional to garnish with fried onions, few coriander leaves, and ghee, and now your haris is ready to be served.
Let's go to Jamaica and we will be cooking jerk chicken, which is a very traditional dish eaten at any time, but specifically during Christmas dinner.
Here are the ingredients to make jerk chicken. You will need 1 onion, 3 medium scallions, 2 Scotch bonnet chilies, 1 tablespoon of allspice, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of salt, a half cup of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, 2 3 to 4 pound chickens, and 1 tablespoon of 5-spice powder. To prepare jerk chicken, in a food processor, combine the onion, scallions, chilies, garlic, 5-spice powder, allspice, pepper, thyme, nutmeg, and salt, and process to a coarse paste. Then with the machine on, add the soy sauce and oil in a steady stream. Once you have your marinade, pour the marinade into a large shallow dish and add the chicken and turn to coat. Then you'll cover and refrigerate overnight and bring the chicken to room temperature before proceeding. Lastly, light a grill and grill the chicken over a medium to hot fire, turning occasionally until well browned and cooked through for about 35 to 40 minutes. Then transfer the chicken to a platter and serve.
Next, we'll be going to China, and there we'll be cooking Kung Pao chicken, one of the most common dishes in China. So for the chicken ingredients, you can have 28 ounces boneless, skinless chicken breasts and cut them into 1-inch cubes, 1 tablespoon Shakshan wine or dry sherry, 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon cornstarch, corn flour. For the sauce, a half a cup of low sodium chicken stock or broth, water can be used, 5 tablespoons of light soy sauce, 2 tablespoons Chinese black vinegar, or you can use good quality balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons Chinese Shaoxing wine or dry sherry, 2 teaspoons of dark soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of hoisin sauce, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of cornstarch or corn flour. For the stir fry, you will need 4 tablespoons of cooking oil divided, 1.5 tablespoons of garlic, which is about 4 to 6 cloves, 1 tablespoon ginger, half a red bell pepper seeded and diced, half a green pepper seeded and diced, 8 to 10 dry chilies cut into half-inch pieces, 1 tablespoon Sichuan peppercorns, lightly toasted and grounded, 4 green onions, scallion stem cut into 1-inch pieces, half cup roasted unsalted peanuts, and 2 teaspoons sesame oil, which is optional. And how to prepare it: you will combine all the ingredients for the chicken in a shallow bowl, cover and marinate for 10 minutes. Whisk sauce ingredients together until the sugar dissolves and set that aside. Heat a large skillet, a pan, or a wok over high heat. Add 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, allow it to heat up, and then add the marinated chicken. Fry the chicken for 3 to 4 minutes while occasionally stirring until the edges are brown, and remove from the heat and set it aside. Add remaining cooking oil into the same pan. Stir in the garlic, ginger, the chili diced peppers, and the Sichuan peppercorns, and stir for 1 minute. Give the prepared sauce a mix, then pour it into the pan and bring it to a boil while stirring. Once it begins to thicken slightly, add the chicken back into the pan and mix all the ingredients through the sauce until the chicken is evenly coated and the sauce has thickened. It takes about 2 minutes. Stir in the green onions, peanuts, and sesame oil. Toss well and continue to cook for a further 2 minutes to infuse all the flavors together, and then serve immediately with steamed or cooked rice or fried rice.
Now we're going to Colombia and we're going to be cooking arroz con pollo, which is a truly classic of the Colombian gastronomy, and there are no other 2 ingredients that go well like the chicken and rice.
Here are the ingredients for arroz con pollo. So we need chicken and stock, 2 whole chicken breasts, bone in and skin removed, 1 scallion, half white onion, 2 garlic cloves, half tablespoon of ground cumin, half tablespoon of sazon, 1 bay leaf, salt and pepper. And for the rice we need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, a 1/4 cup of chopped onion, 1 garlic clove, a 1/4 cup chopped red bell pepper, a 1/4 cup chopped green pepper, 1 cup long grain white rice, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 1 chicken, 2.5 cups of chicken stock, half tablespoon of sazon, a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh cilantro, half cup of frozen peas, half cup of frozen diced carrots, 1 cup of frozen diced green beans. To prepare it, we first place the chicken breast, 5 cups of water, and the remaining ingredients for the stock in a medium pot. We bring it to a boil, cover and reduce the heat to medium-low. Cook it for 20 to 25 minutes. Turn the heat off and let the chicken rest in the pot for about 15 minutes covered. Let it cool, shred, and set aside. Strain the stock and measure 2.5 cups and set aside. In a medium pot, heat the olive oil over medium-high heat. Add the onions, green peppers, garlic, and red bell pepper. Cook until the onions are translucent, about 4 to 5 minutes. Add the rice, tomato paste, chicken, and sazon. Stir until the rice is well coated, about 3 minutes. Add the chicken stock and bring it to a boil. Then reduce the heat to low, cover and simmer for about 15 minutes. Add the peas, carrots, and green beans and cook for about additional 7 minutes. Add the shredded chicken and cilantro. Mix well with a fork, cover and cook for 5 minutes more. Serve and enjoy.
Alright guys, so we're here at the Taste of India in Melbourne. We're excited to get started.
This is butter chicken, and that's very traditional, and it's very popular in India. It's usually from the north of India, and they marinate the meat, and they put yogurt and a lot of Indian spices, and they skewer it, cook it in the traditional clay oven. Then after it's taken out the skewer, they further cook it in the sauce, which is made of tomatoes and cream. And very delicious and very rich also. Then we have the sesame chicken. We have Indo-Chinese blend, and it's crispy and fried with ginger garlic marinade. And then they toss it in a tangy tomato sauce. They sprinkle sesame seeds on it as an appetizer. And it has a little Indian spices, that's why it's Indo-Chinese. And then we have samosas. Samosas are also like an appetizer. They are stuffed with potatoes and green peas in a pastry and deep fried. And here we have dessert. It's gulab jamun. It's a cottage cheese dumpling flavored with cardamom and rose syrup. And of course, masala chai is one of the most important beverages served in India as a welcome drink. In every household, if you go, they serve you there. Regardless of whatever you want, chai is always there. It's very gives a lot of energy, and in India it's a tropical weather. So we have tea and like acts of coolant, like in the car. That's about it. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you.